Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying a beautiful morning. I know I am. The sun is shining. And I think this is going to be kind of an official mini lecture. So if you're sitting down, make yourself comfortable because I think it's going to be a little longer than it usually is. And I've titled it F the Plan. So this is something that's come up in my life just recently. I had a call. I had an engagement in which I would be leading out a group call with people on the call. And for many of you that are watching this, you might have been on the call. And I talked about how I had this amazing plan of everything I thought I was going to say on the call. And then I had my fear going full blown blast in my head, telling me all these things that could possibly go wrong and how I might not be good enough. So I had to do all these extra things to make myself good enough. And then my love stepped in, my voice of love stepped in and said, F the plan. You know what you're doing. Just let me guide you. And I thought for a second after I had this call with all these beautiful women that this is the first time I was like, I didn't think I was a person with a plan. I usually find myself to be more of like a free floater, kind of free spirited person. But I realized that I kind of have done this before in my life. And what I want to share with you is my relationship with guys, with dudes, what I used to do. Because these are the perfect examples in my life where I really knew how to control and manipulate, and where ego really was always constantly telling me, you got to do something else because you're just not good enough. So what I had, I'm going to rewind. So I'm talking about when I was like 18, 19. So it's about, I think, 11 years or so. I'm not very good with math. So 10 years, something like that ago. And I had, I'm going to narrow it down to four guys. And I had this tendency, so let's start with number one, to like a guy for whatever reason it was that I liked him, or I thought I liked him. And this particular individual said, I'm not there right now. I'm not ready to have a relationship. And I'm sure many of you have heard that, whether you're dudes or girls. You heard someone say, I'm not there. I'm afraid of commitment. I just got a relationship, whatever the reason is they feel. Then all of a sudden, I went into, I need to have a plan to get this person to like me. That's kind of my mode. That was my mode. I don't really know. I think it's because maybe I didn't feel good enough, or I don't really know why I wanted that particular person to like me. It was more like an obsession. So I went to this full blown plan about how to get this one particular guy to like me. And I would manipulate every situation. So situations very interesting, like, I'd show up randomly at his house, or I would call and say something that I know would piss him off so that he would just want to call me back, or just little games, and I know we've all played this to a certain extent, little games that I would play to make sure that I had this person's attention. I didn't care what drew his attention to me. I just knew that I wanted his attention. If I showed up, I had to make sure I was wearing the right outfit, a little skin showing, maybe a little cleavage, whatever it is that got his attention. That was my plan. And it worked, of course. Of course it worked to a certain extent. So, yeah, eventually the guy decided that he had this epiphany and he wanted to date me after all the manipulating and controlling. And the relationship didn't work, right? Because I thought that I wanted something, I didn't really know what I wanted, obviously. So after, I think it was a couple of years, it finally kind of disintegrated. And I realized, well, I guess I didn't know what I was doing there. But then came along guy number two. And this was my plan. This is how I knew how to do things. So again, I went into, of course, a person who said that they weren't there right now, that they want a relationship. And I went back into my old pattern of, okay, well, I gotta figure out how to get this person to like me. I don't know why I just didn't know to walk away. It's just very interesting. I didn't know how to let go at that time. To know, like, okay, I am good enough on my own. I don't need all this other stuff to make me feel better. So I'm just gonna walk away. So I got back into that relationship, into the same patterns of wanting to make him want me. And in essence, I think I could not stand, myself. Like, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I hadn't really gotten any time to get to know myself. I had no clue. I had spent so much of my time pretending or trying to make myself into something I thought I was supposed to be. And I think a lot of times that's what happens with our plans. We try to make them try to make our lives into something that we're supposed to be, or something that we think we're supposed to have. So, like, maybe not everybody's meant to have children, but some of us get so tortured with this idea that this is the plan to have a child, and this is when I have to have it. And you know, maybe that's just not for you. Or some of us feel that everybody has to get married, and no, not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody needs to get married. You can have a beautiful partnership and companionship and have it for years, and you never were, you know, quote unquote legally married. It's a beautiful thing. But some people feel like this is part of their plan, and it needs to happen in a certain way. So this was my plan, that I really needed to get this person to like me, and I had a whole blueprint of how this was going to happen, because of course, as you could see, I had already done it before, so I really thought, well, this kind of works. I didn't really get why I broke up with well, we broke up, so obviously it didn't work. No, I didn't get that. So I implemented my plan all over again. This time the plan lasted a little longer. It lasted 4 years, and it was 4 very grueling years of being on and off. And bless his heart, this man, because he's still my friend now, and we actually just Facebooked each other, and it's beautiful that we could still be friends, because we really put ourselves and each other through the ringer because of this manipulating and game and like just lying and just, you know, getting a reaction of the person and just making sure that we had this person's attention in some form. And again, for me, it was a lot about becoming someone that I thought this person wanted me to be. You know, so it was always about like, how can I get this person to like me? I myself on my own, with all of my little quirks, are not good enough. I have to put up a front so that this person can like me. And this can happen in many of our plans. So think of a job situation. You know, if you really want a job, for many of us, what we do is we go to interviews and we say what we think people want us to hear. How many of us really step into interview situations and say, okay, I'm going to be truthful to myself, I'm going to be authentic, and that's going to get me the job. And if it doesn't get me the job, I'm okay to walk away, right? We don't feel that way. We feel like if we don't get the job, oh, we've been rejected, it's because we're not good enough. We have to say what we think the company wants us to hear. And a lot of our society is built around this, saying what we think others want us to hear. Having this plan of what we think life needs to look like, right? And we fake it almost. A lot of us fake it, and we're not happy because it's not really who we are. But we've learned to live in this facade of pretending to be somebody else because we can't accept ourselves as we are. We can't accept, therefore, others as they are. So this can happen, like I said, easily in a job situation, or it can happen in a relationship you already have. You know, some people are just so exhausted from being in the relationship, even if they've been in it a long time, in a marriage, in a relationship, even in a family relationship, parent-child relationship, whatever it is, because they're constantly pretending to be something that they're not. They have this idea in their head, this plan that they think that this is what it's supposed to look like. How many children drive themselves nuts going through school, you know, studying a career that their parents wanted there for them? It wasn't what they were passionate about. It's just because that's what they felt their parents wanted them to do. So, or in a marriage, how many of us do things that we feel the other person wants us to do, or we think, well, this is what a husband does, this is what a wife does. It's not really your own inner voice that's coming out. It's just what you think that you're supposed to do. And it's a fear-based thing. It's because we're scared of something. Either we're scared that this person won't love us the way that we really are, we're scared that they'll leave us, or we're scared, like I said, we won't get the job. And then when we get the job, believe it or not, you have to keep up that facade. You have to keep pretending that you're this person that you were in the interview. That's exhausting. Who wants to be pretending 24/7? And this is all I knew how to do in my relationships. Pretend to be somebody that I wasn't in order to get this person to like me, to love me. And it was really tiring and exhausting. And I think as much as I tried, that person could always see that, you know, that wasn't really me. Like that you know, I wasn't really calm and sometimes collected. Sometimes I was a little spaz, and I got upset about things, and I'd, you know, freak out and tell you about yourself. And I mean, of course, I've grown a lot since then. But for someone who didn't want maybe all that drama, you know, I try to pretend like I wasn't doing all that drama, but that was part of my growth. That's where I was at the time. And it was really exhausting to have this idea in my head that I had outlined, this plan of how this was going to work, that, you know, I was going to find someone, maybe they didn't like me, but I was going to make them like me, and then, you know, we were going to have somehow a future together according to my plan. So then, luckily for me, that person got tired before I did, and they broke up with me, and it was like the best thing they did in my life. It was the best thing that happened, because it really woke me up, and I really woke up to this idea that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I really, truly needed help. I needed to know how to be happy. I had been depending on these people to come into my life and make me happy, thinking that if it became something that I thought they wanted, that would make me happy somehow because I would have someone in my life. I don't really know. It's very interesting now to look back and think, yeah, I was looking for happiness in all these external places, and that kind of was my plan. That's the only way I really knew how to do things at that moment in time. And I was really brokenhearted after that one breakup because I was just so confused. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I think I was about 24, and I really hit rock bottom because I realized I didn't know what I was doing. So I said, you know what? I need to get in touch with myself. I need to take time to get to know myself. So I took some time to get to know myself, and in between that time, there was this guy I hung around with and stuff. So we started to fool around, and I found myself getting back into this pattern of, oh, I got to do things to kind of, again, pretending to be someone that I wasn't, to get this person to like me, to get this person to pay attention to me. I was happy that I had woken up to a certain degree because that never turned into a relationship, and it never lasted very long. You know, we were able to just realize this was never going to be what I knew. You know, I don't think he ever thought that. I think it was me having this in my head. So I knew at that point, you know, I don't even know this person. I don't even know myself to know what kind of person I even like. I was just, again, you know, projecting all of my illusions of what I thought I had to be onto this person. And the fake me liked this person because the fake me thought that, you know, I was compatible with someone because they were compatible to the fake me. It wasn't even the real me. So a lot of times this is what happens. We search for something we search for happiness, and most of us need to really discover what really makes us happy because we don't know. We think it's all these external things that we're going to find. So once we find the right job, once we find this job, once I get that raise, once I get this boyfriend, you know, we're going to be happy. And then when we're there, we discover, I'm not really happy, you know? Actually, I just heard Sean Stevenson say in his Get Your Shit Together lecture with Gabby. It was beautiful. He said, I always thought that once I have a girlfriend, I'm going to be happy every day of my life. And he said, that's not true. And it was so funny because I'm like, yeah, I could see that. It could be like thinking, wow, once I'm married, I'm going to be happy 24/7. And then, you know, reality check. Not so much. Sure, you probably, a happy marriage, you're happy every day. But sometimes, you know, God bless them, your husband or your wife, they can get on your nerves. You know, they're there to teach you. They're your biggest teachers. Course of Miracles teaches that relationships are assignments. So if you take on an assignment like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or, you know, a marriage, I mean, you're really serious. You're really ready to learn something. So it might not always be pleasant. So a lot of the things that we think, oh, this is so going to make me happy. I'm so going to be ready. I'm so going to be complete once I get this. It usually doesn't work out. And that's what I realized with my plans that I had in relationships. I didn't know how to let go. And in this third example, I let go. I said, you know what? I'm letting this go. There's all the signs that this is never going to turn into a relationship. You know, if I'm chilling with this dude and this dude is willing to talk to another girl or he's spending time with another girl, it's not that. We're just friends. And then that's awesome. We can just be friends. Why does everything have to turn into this relationship drama thing? And I let it go completely. And it was really good. It was really good that I let it go because, you know, this person definitely was meant to be with somebody else. And I was meant to be with somebody else. And I think that really set me up for the fourth example that I have where, again, I actually found myself in a situation where I liked this guy and we had been friends for a while. And I told this guy, I like you or whatever. And, whatever, we fooled around. And then this person tells me, that they weren't really looking for that at the moment, that they were going to move away to Atlanta and start some real estate business. And, they weren't trying to stay in my area. And I was like, oh my God, here we go again. But I had done enough work with myself that at that point in time, I was ready to let go. I knew that I was enough. So I knew, hey, either you want to be with me or you don't want to be with me. And if you don't, I'm not even mad about it. Let's just stay friends and let's just move on. So I actually, in that situation, as much as I genuinely did care about this person, I genuinely did see them as a potential for actually having a good relationship, I completely let it go. I remember just being like, I'm just going to let it go. I took a couple of days. It was hard. And I think he was going through his own stuff in those couple of days. And I just completely let it go. And I said, I am done. This is no longer my plan. My plan is no longer to pretend to be somebody else, to pretend to manipulate. I said at that point, F the plan. I no longer have a plan. I think I even talked to my mom and told my mom, I don't know what I'm doing. But at that point, I thought my mom was my help, I guess. And she was helpful because she gave me an idea of like, hey, maybe this is what you're looking for in a guy. And the things that she mentioned, I never would have thought about. So, she said dependability, a person that wants to take care of you. And believe it or not, I never did think about that. I thought, like, I don't know what I thought. I think I thought more like, is he complicated? Does he have a lot of drama? Does he have a lot of issues in his life? And of course, I always ended up with this person that was just like, there was a lot going on for them, because maybe there was a lot going on for me. And when I said F the plan and I simplified everything, and I just, I kind of shed all that skin, all that baggage of all these past relationships, and then I just said, forget it. I'm letting it all go. I didn't let my voice of fear get the best of me and say, okay, you're in this situation again. You're such a loser. If you let this guy go, you're really going to be alone. I was brave enough to choose love at that moment and say, no, I am enough. I no longer need my plan of pretending to make other things make me enough. I'm going to let this go. And the beautiful end of that story is that's the guy I'm still with today. So 6 years after, we dated for 2 years and we've been married for 4. So it's letting go that really, really brings the amazing things into our lives. It's really saying F the plan. And what I mean by F the plan is F the attachment to our plans. That doesn't mean you can't have goals, you can't have, things you want to accomplish in your life. Sure, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that we get attached so easily to the form of how that happiness or that person or however is going to come into our lives. We forget to just feel, I never would have thought that this one person would make me feel so good. And honestly, in a million years, I never thought that one guy that I ended up marrying would have been the guy. I guess I realized that when I let go, I realized, I guess this is, it's okay. It's not going to work. But that was the one guy that actually made me feel, he didn't have all those other things the other guys did. It was different. He was just not what I envisioned that I would be with. But I realized that he made me feel, I was myself around the guy. I could piss him off and he would still want to hang out with me. I could be, screaming at the top of my lungs because he said something annoying and he didn't think it was drama. He laughed, which was kind of annoying at the time. And sometimes he still does that, which is still annoying. But, he would find all my quirkiness like, okay, I still want to be around her. Very simple. He had no problem. He went to hang out with me. He went to watch sports with me. He didn't run away with me when I was trying to watch sports with him. He just was okay being around me. And as much as I tried to pretend with him most of the time that I was cool and collected about something, I don't know. Somehow he always pushed some button and I always would spaz out. And I always think, what in the world? This guy wants to be with me even though I'm spazzing out? So it was really my truth that came out with that person. And in that truth, I really realized, it's the feeling. I feel comfortable around this person. I like feeling comfortable around this person. So whatever feeling you're looking for, that's what you're going to find when you let go of the plan. When you let go of this idea of what something should look like, what something should sound like, what something should, I don't know, feel like even. You know what I mean? When you let go. So what I'm talking about, feel like, is like, that might sound confusing. I'm saying hold on to the feeling, but let go of how that feeling is going to come. Don't think that, just because I feel good, think, oh, I want to feel really good. And think the only way I can feel good is if I get a raise. Or the only way I can feel good is if I, get that front office that I want. Or I feel good if I get those shoes that I want. Or I feel good if that guy finally is with me. No. Realize that those good feelings come from within. Just from being you. You're good enough to give you those good feelings. This is just the natural flow of how we are. Then when we start getting into the plan thing, we just get really stuck. It's very unnatural. I think love does a beautiful thing. Love has a flow. Course in Miracles says, miracles happen naturally. They're natural expressions of love at their maximal. They're not a plan. Love just knows that in this moment you have everything you need. It doesn't even bother to think about the next one because it knows it's just going to flow naturally. So we're the ones in our fear that want to know. We want to know everything sometimes. We want to know exactly how it's all going to work out. And love comes in and really says, if you want to be happy, you're going to say, I let go of this. I let go of my plan. Whatever that plan, if it's a mini plan or if it's a life plan, you let go of the plan and you say, okay, love, show me. Lead me. I'm letting go. Show me what's going to happen. Show me what I need to know because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly I did not know what I was doing with these guys. Clearly I did not know that I think I was very oblivious at that point that I was manipulating, controlling. It was exhausting. I didn't know at that point a better way. It wasn't until I got brokenhearted and on my bottomless in relationships and life and everything at the age of 24 that I said, show me, because I don't know. And it was at that point that everything began to shift. And then I began to say, F my plan. It wasn't a life plan. It was just like a mini plan in my relationships. F this plan that I think I need this and I need this kind of guy and it needs to look this way and we're going to live in this place and whatever it is. I thought I was going to live my whole life in Toronto. Well, I was wrong about that too. F the plan and show me something better. Because I know that's what love's going to give you. Love is going to give you something better. So I really want to empower you to choose love today, to let go of whatever you think in your mind life is supposed to look like, however you think it needs to happen. Let it go. Choose love. F the plan. And watch those miracles, those milagros just flow into your life, because that's what's going to happen. And that is the natural state of our being. That is how life is meant to be lived. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a great investment. Your time here today was a great investment in just getting you on the love plan instead of our own plan. So F the plan, choose love.